say exactly which type of women are that way, because sometimes, you know, maybe she really do love him. Maybe that's why she accepts things and, you know, puts up with it. Maybe she thinks he's gonna change. But 9 times out of 10, she just like drama.
I wouldn't say women specifically like being treated like that, but I would like to say they're stronger. They're stronger. They recognize they can be more patient. They can forgive better than a man can. That's one thing I couldn't give it up to the opposite sex, guys. Women can forgive better than men could. All right, they really could, and I don't know if that's a strength or a weakness for men. It can be a double-edged sword, but women can just forgive better. That's what I'm saying. They just forgive better. They overlook a little bit more than men could. Men, we just like, man, keep moving, throw away everything. That's what we do. And sometimes, you know, like I said, it could be a strength or it can be a weakness at some point. But women, they can forgive better than men. That's what I like to say when I think of this post.
That woman doesn't respect you.
At Curaleaf Clinic, we're not here to get people.
Hi. Hello. I'm a numbers guy, so I had questions. Am I gonna feel weird? I can't turn up to work.
Baked to perfection. I do things by the book, just like Curaleaf, fully regulated and legal. I would never.
Hit the pipe!
Anyway, it was easy. I just searched for...
Curaleaf, how can we help? For expert guidance you can trust, search Curaleaf Clinic today.
Fellas, free game. If you are dealing with a woman who calls you out your name, you are a beta male. That woman doesn't respect you. She doesn't look at you as a leader, and she would never submit to you. You allow that woman to call you a bitch, a hoe ass nigga, a goofy, a clown. She calls you those things because that's exactly what she see you as. Real alpha men don't tolerate disrespect. It's a non-negotiable. You have to be a weak man to accept verbal abuse or any kind of abuse from anybody, yet alone your woman. Y'all be at home allowing that woman to treat y'all like shit, and then y'all come on the internet and come into the real world and require so much submission. If you can't even get the woman that you laying pipe on and providing for to submit to you, what makes you think I'm gonna submit to you? Y'all be beta males, and then y'all come onto the internet and out in the real world and start projecting, saying that all women are masculine, all women are combative. No, that woman you chose is masculine. Stop projecting and figure out why you can't get a woman to submit to your weak ass. Free game, fellas.
Yo, so at the end of the day, fellas, thank you for watching. I have to point out, she is absolutely correct. If a woman is calling you out your name, she does not respect you. I'm just putting it like that. She might have some love for you or some type of respect, but like the type of respect that, you know, you should garner in a relationship as the man, that's not happening. If she's calling you out your name and all kind of stuff, and it's just normal everyday stuff, she doesn't really respect you like she should. Or maybe she just unnaturally...
Nikki Glazer, who I would say is one of the best female roasting comedians I've ever watched. She's absolutely hilarious, but she's catching a lot of flack right now for what she said on the Call Her Daddy podcast, which is the feminist misandry network. They just want to talk about man-hating and being 304s. That's essentially what this podcast is about. But I want you to pay attention to the similarities between what Nikki Glazer is saying and what Justin Waller's wife said from the Manosphere podcast. Because when his wife was talking about this stuff, oh, she's an oppressed housewife who doesn't have a choice. But with Nikki Glazer, she's a celebrated feminist who knows her worth. Let's get off into this, dude.
I know how lame it comes across. I sometimes don't like to tell guys about this thing that I have where I'm like, you know, this is separate than the soulmate thing. Like, I don't care if a guy has a sexual connection with a girl and like he was to use protection and just have sex with her for a night. Like, I literally wouldn't care if my husband did that. I don't know why. I don't know why. If he were to like watch The Wire with her or like.
Here's the reason why, dude. Here's the reason why. Movies about cheating in relationships for women. All over. The female fantasy chat is a woman cheating on her man to get with another guy. That's what the frickin' Mistress Hunter, the Painted Veil, too can play that game. Addicted, the other man. You know, a royal.
No! Help!
Arby's, we have the meats.
Roast beef.
It's sad, isn't it?
Well, sweetie. Goodness. Sorry, Chad, I had to. I'm sorry.
Guess who's back?
Gentlemen of the internet, I have a serious conversation to have with you today, and I have a very serious question to ask. What is with the dead fish pictures on your dating profile?
God forbid a man has a hobby.
Let me hold your hands while I say this. Women do not like the dead fish pictures. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the bearer
Let me be the one to say this. Men don't like a full birthday makeup. How about that?
of bad news. I want you guys to know that I'm not coming down on you too hard. I'm really just trying to help you out. I'm trying to help you get more dates and help us get more dates. Because even if I see a guy on Hinge and he's cute and he has a good job and he's my type, the moment I see him holding up a dead pike, picture of fish, the moment us ladies see that, disqualified. Swipe left. You're done. But while we're on the topic, is there anything that women do on their dating profiles that turns you guys off? Anyways, let me know so that I can tell all the other ladies, and then all of us are going to get more dates as a result. So
yeah, the birthday makeup, that's a big one. I think most men are like, yeah, I'm kind of sick of that. And then also you only out at bars and nightclubs. Like, it's weird to me that a lot of women don't realize that you can't have a hobby that's going out to the bar, going out to the club. That can't be a hobby. That just means you're a runner.
She's a runner, she's a track star.
Oh, I got my first hey girl DM today. Quick story. I met a man at the grocery store. I met him in the wild, which is really cool. That doesn't happen often. And he was really good looking. This one's 6'2", not 5'9", and his ears were relatively proportioned correctly. So yeah, that was right then and there.
I guess I'd be DQ'd then because I got those Dumbo ears. I can hear what you're thinking.
Test. Facial hair, tatted, my type of guy, right? So we met for a drink right after the grocery store, and then we talked for hours. He could hold a conversation. He had opinions. He was funny. He made me laugh. Things were looking good, right? So we talked like for 4 hours. That drink just led to a whole conversation. Then he asked me out again last night, and so I did. I went out with him last night. We had dinner. Again, great conversation, made me laugh. We had so much in common. There was chemistry, definitely.
I'm loving the part of this story where you get to the point.
Chemistry. So then I get home and I get a DM, and it's his girlfriend. She is there to tell me that he has a girlfriend and he's had one for quite a while. And she thought I should know. And he said, okay. So I called him and I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, you know, things have been rocky. I'm going to break up with her. I've been wanting to break up with her. And then when I met you, it gives me more reason to do it. And I promise I'll call her right now. I'll end it. And I said, you don't do it on my account. If that's what you want to do for yours, go ahead. But after this conversation, I'm blocking you. And he said, he couldn't understand why. He was like, why? I'm leaving her. No. I messaged her and I let her know that I blocked him and I would not be contacting him again. And she thanked me and she said, I knew you would be a girl's girl. No, I told her I'm not a girl's girl. I'm not a girl's girl. I don't consider myself to be one. I've said it before. Too many women on here vote against their own rights, and I'm not down with that. So you don't know who you can trust around here. So I told her I did this for me because he has already shown me that he's a liar and he's a cheater, and I will never let somebody treat me like that.
Right, that's why I'm saying, I always say this, if they're cheating on you, or if they cheat with you, you're next to be cheated on. Shubadanaya, should have bought a Honda, put it on a t-shirt. And then speaking of cheating, if you guys want to check and see if your girl's cheating, you should go check out Cheaterbuster AI. I have it in the description below. Shout out to the guys from Cheaterbuster AI. It's a simple app. You put in name, number, location, and you can see if your girl's on Tinder or see if she's on any other dating apps. Speaking of cheating, I found a diabolical clip that I wanted to play. She called her boyfriend to order food for us, not knowing she laid up with me.
Hello.
Soldier.
What you doing?
Girl, just getting on. What you doing?
Nothing. With my friend. Can you order me some food?
Yeah, what you want?
I think is Chick-fil-A still open?
Hell no.
Oh, okay. Probably like Applebee's. Applebee's, yeah.
Applebee's?
Mm-hmm.
You ate today?
No, that's why I'm asking you to send me some food.
What you want?
Hold on.
Just get whatever. I'm gonna eat whatever.
Can you do the 2 for $20? It's the loaded mashed potatoes, the chicken, and then the fajitas.
She just got that.
And two large lemonade. The fajitas and then the 2 for $20.
2 for $20?
Mm-hmm.
What you need 2 meals for?
Cause, yeah, it's me and my friend. We hungry. My friend, you don't know her.
I don't know her.
Unreal. Unreal. She's calling her man. I'll tell y'all a little story. When I was in college, I was talking to this chick, and I later found out that she had a man. I was like, oh wow, you got a whole man. And she kept bucking with me, and you know, whatever, I'm cool with it. It was
to do when meeting a man in the wild doesn't work, and then we go on Hinge, it also doesn't work. What are we supposed to do? What are we doing? What's option number 3?
So this woman is on
go to church, go to a singles event, maybe try to go out with your friends, and maybe if one of your friends has a friend, try to meet them. Like people really rely on the dating apps a little too much, in my opinion.
In one of my previous videos, I asked the single ladies where we're going to meet men when finding them in the wild doesn't work and online dating doesn't work either. So I asked, what's option 3? Where are we going? What are we doing? And a lot of the men commented and said that single women should be going to Home Depot and typically male-dominated stores. So that's what I did. Okay, today I went to Home Depot and I looked confused walking through the aisles, expecting to meet somebody or have somebody approach me. Do you know what I walked away with? Ribbon. So, no man.
You're not going to meet your husband at Home Depot, honey. I hate to break it to you, but that's definitely not happening. You're not meeting him at Home Depot. The guys that are going to Home Depot, in chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. The guys that are going to Home Depot are going there for a reason, and they're going to go, they're going to grab, and then they're going to leave.
Fan of her. When you're 51 years old, you're almost 52. I have never dated anybody who is age appropriate or even close to my age, okay? I matched with a guy last week who was 53 years old, and he was so fit and had a great job, had this fantastic backstory that was just like all of the pieces that for me personally, not saying for anybody else, but for me personally, would signify all of the traits in a good man that I am looking for. He had not been divorced. He had been widowed. And I know that's like a sad story, but I think most women would agree that that's kind of like a heartwarming.
Widowed, I agree. Widowed is better than going through a divorce, because widowed is out of your control. You were at least trying to make it work.
Story if you don't remarry. He was a veteran. He was still in his older age getting advanced degrees and pursuing things. And like I said, he's super, super fit. He's so youthful. His kids are the same age as mine. And he's still like setting goals and working toward them. And he's retired twice from 2 different professions. And he just keeps going and making new professions for himself because he's not sick of learning. And that is what I'm dying for in a partner, because I feel like that's sort of like how I am mentally. Anyway, so we start talking, and he is so funny and he's so charismatic, and we're just like on it when somebody's on your wavelength. And when I'm talking to him, I feel like I'm 20 years old, and he sounds like he's 20 years old to me. And I know that that's a good sign. And then we're just sort of vibing, talking, and he's like, God, I've not talked to anybody like this, like ever. Like, and all of a sudden he says, oh my God, I just realized where you lived. And I'm like, how did you not know? And he said, no, like, do you not know where I live? And I said, you live in downtown Tampa. And he said, no, I don't. I live in downtown, this whole ass other county. And I was like, wait, what? His profile just says downtown, and I thought it was weird. And I even asked him about like, what made you move to Florida and pick to live downtown? Because downtown is just a sea of 25-year-old scenesters. Like, no age-appropriate man with a real job and money would choose to live in a sea of these kids. And so I did think it was weird that he wasn't like, yeah, I don't really like it. Like, it's just because he doesn't live there. Anyway, he was like, it's fine. We're going to make this work. And we ended up being like 2 hours and change apart. And that's fine for me. You know, the last person that I dated kind of seriously was 3 hours away. So I don't mind that so much. And he doesn't have, like, he just lives by himself. So it's not like he's got kids that he needs to rearrange around or anything like that. We were both like, it's going to be fine. Anyway, we have talked like more consistently than I have probably spoken with anybody recently, where I feel like I really got a sense of who he was. But it came up to the weekend. And he was, the whole time we were talking, he'd be like so good about like, I'm going into a meeting, so I won't be available, or I'm doing this, or I'm out on a walk. You know, so when you just disappear, you're not disappearing. The person knows like, okay, it's like saying goodbye when you're on a telephone call, but it's how you do it in text. So he's really good about that. He mentions he might be going out of town for the weekend. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. He mentions he's leaving work about like 3 that day. And He texts me. I text him back at like 3 and I never hear from him again. Which is like, okay. I mean, like that night I was like, oh, I kind of miss talking to him, but it's fine. Most people would probably, I guess, go out on a Friday night. I mean, I wouldn't because I'm a homebody, but okay. And then it got to like midday Saturday and I just get a quick text from him that was like not initiating conversation. It felt like, you know, I'm acknowledging you, I'm holding you on the line, but I'm not wanting to talk. And so I just didn't respond back. I was out with my kids. And when I got home, I sent him a quick text and heard nothing from him. And then that night before I went to bed, I was like, God, I'm not hearing from him again. This is like weird, you know? It's just a little bit weird. It's one thing one night, but 2 night, most people don't do that who are truly interested. Like, anyway, so I just sent him a text that said like, oh gosh, boy, you really weren't kidding about that quick marriage and anticlimactic subsequent divorce, you know, like, haha, making a joke about us just like not talking for the past 2 days. And I heard from him late the next day, which is exactly what I anticipated would happen. I had this whole thought process about how he's going to show back up when all of his free time is over and he'll be back on like work schedule where he has like these little breaks where he can fit me in. And I was like, so, but when it's his free time, it's like I don't exist in the world, you know? And sure enough, so he texts me and he says, I'm responding apparently to my, you know, subsequent divorce comment where I was kidding. I made it clear that was a joke, but he said, you know, I'm so sorry. I went to this really big neighborhood Halloween thing. I didn't have pockets. I left my phone out on the counter. Somebody thought it was their phone, picked it up, and I did not get my phone back until midnight that night when they finally drove it back. I texted him, I read it, and I texted him back and said, no explanation needed, no worries. Like, and then he sent some like snarky comment about like losing photos of me. Like, oh, I don't care if I lose my bank account information. Like, we're screwed with our phones, but you know, I'll lose the photos of you. And that's like not the way that he talked to me before, you know? And I just ignored it. And my thought process was this, like, I just was like, I'm not responding to him again. If you lost your phone, if that truly...
Jesus Christ, this 50-year-old woman can't explain something in 30 seconds. I'm sorry, Chad. I just robbed y'all of your time. Have y'all seen the Sydney Sweeney thing?
I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt like every day of my life.
Jeans are uncontroversial. Jeans are awesome.
Yeah, I like your jeans.
You look great in your jeans. I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean, the president tweeted about the jeans ad, or Truth Socialed about the jeans ad, and that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be totally human. I would probably feel like thankful that somebody had my back in public, you know, and conveniently some very powerful people had my back in public. And I wondered if you felt that way.
I don't think that, it's not that that feeling I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that, or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away. I was filming every day. I'm filming Euphoria, so I'm working like 16-hour days, and I don't really bring my phone on set, so I work and then I go home and I go to sleep. So I didn't really see a lot of it.
You've made a really good case for keeping your thoughts and your life separate from that work. But the risk is that, you know, there's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think about certain issues and feel like, I don't want to see Christy because of that. Like, do you worry about that?
No.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like, white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like, that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
I love it, dude. W for Sydney Sweeney, bro. W for her, man. Like this, and they're clowning this chick, bro, on